Hi, this is Justice with Tablet Pro. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my top 6 or 7 uh, touch-friendly apps. So I know a lot of people use an iPad with the Surface Pro 8 and the Surface Laptop Studio coming out. We have a really viable option for Windows users with a beautiful, clean line and stylus that works really well to compete against that beautiful line that the Apple Pencil makes. So what apps are touch friendly so that you can use your Windows Surface tablet like you would an iPad? All right, so I have a handful of different criteria that I like to use when I'm looking at whether an app is touch friendly. One is whether or not it handles pinch to zoom, if it's got like a 2-finger tap for undo. Those things are important. I like when apps give different functionality for touch versus for the stylus. So those are all good things. If they also support simultaneous pen and touch. For those of you who are familiar with my channel, you know that I use the Artist Pad, which is one of the products that we make at Tablet Pro. And that puts touchscreen shortcuts on the side. So you can press your keyboard shortcuts with your one hand and draw with the other. So those are all the criteria that we're going to be looking at, and we'll go through the list. All right, so let's go ahead and jump over. So the first app we're going to look at is Leonardo. Leonardo is not a very well-known app. It's in the Microsoft App Store, and it's on sale currently for half off. One of the things that I think Leonardo is really good at is really fast, low latency drawing. So the lines with the new Surface tablets, thank you. With the new Surface tablets, the line quality has improved tremendously. So the Pro 8 and the Laptop Studio that use the Slim Pen 2, they are fantastic. The quality is comparable to an iPad. Very good, very clean. So Leonardo, it supports simultaneous pen and touch. So if we tap down here, we'll open up the Artist Pad. You can see we can adjust the size and switch tools. And this is really important for just how fast you can work on a tablet. Now, one of the things that I like about the design for Leonardo is if you're not using the Artist Pad, you have all of these tools right here on the side, basically where I think they should be if you're drawing. So let's go ahead, let's do the eyedropper. Yes, we can pick another color, and let's go up here, and you can turn off some of these notifications. Let's go ahead and fix this. Okay, force pen mode. And here, let's go left-handed. So if you're right or left-handed, you can have the panel on the side. I think this is really useful. This is basically what we do with Tablet Pro. We put it on either side. It's beautifully animated, gorgeous design, extremely low latency, and it's really great for a number of different things. Let's go ahead and bring this down. And one thing that I really like here is if you hold, you can get it to turn into a straight line. So for design, the ruler tool is fantastic. It is one of the smartest ones that I've seen. Here, when you're drawing, you're not drawing, you can see exactly where you're going with this guide. It doesn't get in the way. It's very, very intelligently designed software. Again, now if we close this, so let's turn off the ruler. All right, so that's Leonardo. This one is in the Microsoft App Store. The next one we're going to look at is Sketchable. And Sketchable, what I like about Sketchable is it's also really fast, also in the Microsoft App Store. This one has support for haptics. So if you're using the new Slim Pen 2, you can feel that little rumble motor inside kicking up and feels like you're actually drawing on paper mostly. So it's pretty close. Okay, so here, notice it has support for tilt, which I really like. And let's go ahead and undo this and zoom in a little bit more. So here, I can feel the rumble. Notice that the tilt is intelligently done. Now, if I use my finger, I can smudge, and this is pretty awesome. Actually feels the way I remember when I was a kid doing a lot of drawing with pencil and paper, and then you flip around and you erase, and everything kind of makes sense here. It's very, very intuitive. Now, if you want to switch your finger to a different tool, you can just long press on one of these, and you can set touch to chalk or adjust it that way. So you can see this one has a little fingerprint on it. So you can tell that that's which one is going there. So let's go ahead and switch back to another tool. Great app for doing some light sketching. This is not an app that I would suggest for doing natural media reproduction. So if you're wanting to do some quick sketches, this is great. So one of the things I think is really important to do is when you're looking at an art program is look at the artwork that's being created with it. And if it's in line with what you want to do, if you're like, hey, this is my style, then it's usually a good idea to go with that program over a lot of the other things that you're looking at. So it may be really great for certain types of features you're used to, but if the artwork coming out looks like the artwork that you like, that's a good indication that it'll work for you once you figure it out. So this artwork right here was done by Lawrence Mann. He's a fantastic artist. You can find him on his channel here, which is Lawrence Can Draw here on YouTube, and I'll link to him. So this artwork is a good indication of the style, the type of artwork that you can do with Sketchable, which is pretty impressive stuff. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next one. This is a Microsoft Store app. You can get it. They have a free version. So the next app we're going to look at, also in the Microsoft Store, and you can get it on their website as well, is Krita. Krita's been around for a long time, and it's been one of the most famous and well-known free drawing apps, and it has just gotten better and better and better. They keep funding it, and if you get it in the Microsoft Store app, then you can support their work. I think it's $10. It's very inexpensive, and it'll update itself. It'll populate the updates when you update your other store apps. So it's very easy to keep up to date, and it's solid. It's a very good program. If you start and you have some weird problems like this, then you probably need to adjust your settings here. So we're going to go into Configure Krita, and we're going to go to Tablet Settings. We're going to switch this to Windows 8 plus Pointer. We're going to click OK, and we're going to restart. Now, some programs like 3D programs like Blender and ZBrush will require you to install WinTab for certain things like pressure to work. That is not the case here with Krita, but you want to keep that in mind if you're looking at some of these other ones. So I'm getting some little dots from my finger. This is a setting you can turn off for touch, not doing drawing with touch. So we don't want that to do that. Okay, so Krita has a very, very powerful brush engine. One of the things I like, it is also one of the growing number of apps that support simultaneous pen and touch. So here we can pop up, oh, you know what? I think I have to set this up further. So we're going to go Configure Krita, and we're going to go to Settings here, and we're going to choose Shortcut Schemes, Tablet Pro, and General, Canvas Input. We're going to choose Tablet Pro as well. All right, here we go. Okay, so we have the pop-up palette. You can choose from a whole bunch of different tools that you program in. This is a very smart, intuitive way of working. It's very fast. You can pick different colors very quickly, and it's all in that same kind of HUD that gives you a lot of control. Let's pick one of these. So the brush engine in Krita is one of the most powerful. It gives you a lot of different options. They have blenders. You can adjust the tilt properties, all the different properties. There is a ton of options here. So you can see here, this is just a very quick look at the different options you have for brushes. Testing it over here, changing the properties so that it's a mixing brush. There is so much. So one of the things that I suggest doing is type the name of the program you're wanting to research, like Krita, and type the word art right afterwards. So here you can see, let's go ahead and zoom in. Ooh. You can see the type of art. They have vector tools and brush stabilizers and tons of brushes, but they also have animation tools inside of Krita. And again, it's free. It's a great program. It is not my favorite, but it's very good. So here, let's go ahead and jump back, and we're going to look at a little bit more of the art created in Krita. So I like this style. I think it's really cool. You can do some painterly type of art, but it would not be my first choice for trying to replicate oils or trying to replicate watercolor, but it's very good for a lot of things. And again, it's free. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Krita does support simultaneous pen and touch, which is great. Sai used to be my favorite. So this is Paint Tool Sai version 2, and this used to be my favorite. What I really like, let's go ahead, the keyboard shortcut here is Win Shift Z is going to load the artist pad that's associated with this. Okay, so now if I try and pinch to zoom on the screen, it doesn't do anything because Paint Tool Sai does not support touch. It doesn't support touch for any type of navigation or input. I think you can select things on the screen, but that's about it. So if you're not using the artist pad, then this is not a good option for touch. So here, if you are, then it's fantastic. It's super fast. You can do everything that you want to do. What I would say is it is one of the fastest. It handles giant files with ease. If you have a low spec machine, this is one of the fastest, best ones. Now, again, let's look at artwork made by Paint Tool Sai. So we're going to go Sai Art. You can see some of this different style here. And you can do a lot. Again, it is not, if you want to do something that's very painterly, this is not a natural media replication. By the way, I am not putting Photoshop in this list. Photoshop is fantastic. It's not in this list. I don't want to pay for it anymore. So everyone knows what Photoshop can do. It's a great program. It's really good. It's not touch friendly. It doesn't support simultaneous pen and touch. It has a fantastic brush engine. It's lovely to draw in. It is resource heavy. So it's not great for different people. It's not great for older machines. And Fresco is pretty good, and you can use a lot of the same brushes in it. And that one is great for art. It's made by Adobe. Okay, Photoshop is not going to be in my videos very frequently anymore if I can help it. All right, so here, let's see. This is made in Paint Tool Sai. Nope, this guy's name is Sai. A lot of pictures of some guy named Sai. All right, here we go. Paint Tool Sai. Paint Tool Sai. It's beautiful color blending. Beautiful color blending in Paint Tool Sai. Now, Paint Tool Sai has like an older big brother. I don't know how exactly you would explain Clip Studio Paint, which is in my top 2 or 3. So Clip Studio Paint, let's go ahead and close this. Real quickly here, let's choose the pencil tool and pan over here. I want you to see how beautiful these lines are. Quick plug, if you guys are not using a Pro 8 or a laptop studio, this is the stylus I recommend, and I do sell it on my site. All right, so it's Surface Pen. And the R520C. You see, it's very clean. It's a great choice for artists who are not using the Pro 8. I mean, it's fine for Pro 8 and Laptop Studio. I just like the slim pen tube better. So that's on my website. If you guys are looking for a stylus for art, it's better than everything else I've tested, and I've tested probably 25 different styluses. Okay, so Paint Tool Sai is Great piece of software. If you're not using the Artist Pad from Tablet Pro, I do not recommend it for touch. It does not have built-in touch controls. All right, the next one here. So Clip Studio Paint has almost exactly the same keyboard shortcuts as Paint Tool SI does. It's a great program, probably the best for touch, along with Rebelle 4, 4.1 actually. Okay, so one of the things I really like about Clip Studio Paint is it has all of those gestures that you expect and you use with Procreate, almost all the same ones. So if we draw here on the screen, and the brushes are really nice brushes, a lot of texture. This does a really good job of replicating natural media with certain types, like if you're looking at pastels and chalk and pencil and some paint, but it doesn't do like an impasto, like a thick paint type of a replication, which Artrage, Vitae, and Rebelle 4 do. Okay, so this really fast, 2-finger tap and 3-finger tap to redo. You can adjust this. You can set different things to touch. It's really fast. We're going to tap here the pen tool to switch to the correct preset. Here, if we want to bring up different tools, we can bring up tools. You can import Photoshop brushes. It supports simultaneous pen and touch, which means that I can adjust brush size and pick colors and do all of that at the same time. So it feels right. It feels good. This is also, you have options for doing time lapse. So you can record a time lapse. You can do it by default. Great program. Probably my #1 choice for most artists. Again, so let's look at the type of art that's being created with SP, Clip Studio Paint. You see a lot of beautiful color mixing. It is beautiful, beautiful program. And they just, I think about a year ago, redid the design, so it looks really sharp. You can see just beautiful lines. It handles animation. You can do vector work, all sorts of different things in Clip Studio Paint. And again, just the colors that you can produce, the way the colors blend, very, very nice. Really like it. And it does something here that I'm going to show that I think is actually one of the most important features, and I think that people don't understand that this even exists. By the way, this artwork right here is by Sam Does Art, and he's on YouTube and Instagram. He's one of my absolute favorite artists. Phenomenal work. Every single piece he does, I makes me happy to look at. So it's a rare gift. So one of the things here with the navigation window is you can just set it to pick a color. So you're just tapping and sampling, and it's extremely well thought out. I love this feature. You can adjust it so that it does different things, so it's not sampling and you're panning the screen, and you can rotate, and really, really intelligent with the, this is called sub view over here. Okay, so what I like, let's go ahead and move this a little bit closer. What I like is this. So here, let's bring in the size. Now I'm going to tap while I'm drawing. I'm going to tap a different tool. You can see I've switched to the pencil, and when I release it, I go back to the tool that I was using. So if I am painting here and I want to switch to the eraser, and then I let go, oh, I think I switched actually to a different type of eraser. There might be a setting here. Okay, so here, and let's go watercolor, and I release, and I go back to the brush that I was at. I think I switched it to a different, yeah, this is a toggle. Okay, the eraser here is a toggle, so you're erasing with the brush that you are using instead of trying to erase with a totally separate type of eraser. Also really important, Photoshop does that, and they do a good job with that too. I think they call it clear inside of Photoshop. All right, so Clip Studio Paint, in my top 2 or 3, it's very, very good. I have a link on my website. I'll put a link in the description. I am just like a week or 2 ago became an affiliate for them. Doesn't change anything I said, but it's a great program. You can use that link. I would appreciate if you use the link that I put into the description or comment section. Okay, the next one is Adobe Fresco. Fresco has a free version, fully free version. You don't need a Creative Cloud subscription. You can actually just do some pretty cool stuff with Fresco. Of all of these apps, I think the one that uses the most intelligent touch function would be Fresco. Clip Studio Paint is not revolutionary, but it's solid. What I like here, one of the things I really like here is this little button right here. So we are, with this, we're going to get rid of the artist pad because I don't like using the artist pad in Fresco. I think it gets in the way. So we're going to do a little pencil here. Let's zoom in. It's very fast, very optimized for artwork. I'm going to press this right here. And now I've switched to erasing. So this little guy right over here does a couple different functions. You can tap it and erase. You can tap it and pull it, and it's going to do something different depending on the tool that you're using. So as an example here, we're going to switch to the watercolor brush. Rebelle 4, and let's move this down here so we can use our thumb. Let's pick a different color, and we'll go red. Rebelle 4 and Fresco do what I call live, like a living canvas. And this here is really cool because you can see the colors moving. It's alive. It's like a real canvas with real properties, you know, absorption rates and flow and, you know, how the watercolor disperses. Fresco is a very truncated version of that. It's not super powerful, but it does give an example of what this type of action is like. And you can see the colors blend the way that you'd expect them to. Pretty cool. You can use Photoshop brushes in this. This is a vector brush. So let's go over here and we're going to draw a little thing here. Now, thank you for the information. Now, if I go over the top, I can just erase, draw, erase. Okay, cool. We'll undo that. Now, if I go here and I pull, then I can actually erase that whole section. And if you're doing, let's see, certain things, that's really cool. It's very cool to be able to do and erase different sections. So Fresco, really fast. You can use Photoshop brushes, import brushes. With the free version, you cannot. So well designed. You don't need the artist pad. It has 2-finger tap to undo, pinch to zoom, rotate, all like the standard things you'd expect. Color blending is good. It's a really good free option. And I would pick it over Krita. I would pick it over most of the other types of programs because I think that the quality and the speed of use in a touch-based interface is well thought out. A little slow to get started, but they're doing a good job now. So, all right, so let's look Adobe Fresco. As you can see, some of the types of artwork. There's a lot of vector-based artwork, and it's a really fast way to do this type of art. And I like this. I think it's a cool style. Here's a little bit of a blend of those different vector and watercolor mediums. It's actually a great example of the style of art that you can do. This one's another great example. This is a really good idea of the type of artwork that you can do with Adobe Fresco. Let's look at this one. Ooh, I like it. All right, I'm throwing Expresii in because I don't think a lot of people know about it, and it's not the best for most things, but it's really cool, and so I'm going to tell you about it. We're going to open this up. We're going to hit the little Tablet Pro pen tool icon here, and pull the screen forwards. Expresii does some really neat things. So this is an Asian art tool, which is what they say. My children are Asian, so I don't qualify as being racist for saying the word Asian, which, why do people get mad when someone says someone's a certain race? That's okay, everybody. It's okay to say someone is black or white. It's not okay to be mean to them because of those things. All right, so here I'm going to tap, and you can see that I've got some orange on my brush. Now if I push over here, this is going to fill that. Now if I just do a little bit, it's actually only going to fill it a little bit. So you actually add more and less paint to the brush, and you can see that it applies. It does some really cool things here. Now see, I just did a quick tap here, and so it actually is pulling in some of the color that was already on the brush. If I do a long push here, you can see it's going to fill up, and we're going to get some beautiful So we're going to get some really beautiful artistic strokes that are very hard to replicate and do in other programs. All right, so one of the things that you want to keep in mind here if you're using a Surface tablet, here inside of these settings, you have an option for using Windows Ink or using WinTab. We're going to use Windows Ink. We're going to click OK. Now this should actually allow us to use simultaneous pen and touch. And you can see that we can do that while the brush is working. We can adjust different things. And big deal. And part of the reason why Expresii is here on the list. So there's a whole lot that goes into how the brushes work inside of Expresii. So taking some time to really learn how the paint goes on the brush and what type of and how water affects the canvas, how much water is on the brush. You can see here I can adjust lower. This is going to give us more of a scratchy look, or higher. And this is going to give us a fuller, thicker line if we're adding colors to this, how those things play out. Really, really powerful program. Check this one out. This is also in the Microsoft Store. So let's look at Art by Expresii. You can see the style of art here. Really cool. Very unique style of art that you can create with Expresii that would be very difficult to do in most other programs. All right, we have just 2 left, 3 left. Okay, so I gave up on Sketchbook. I gave up on Sketchbook a while ago, and it was because the lines were terrible on a Surface computer, Surface device. It just looked like crap. So I'm going to use a Surface stylus, and it is the worst. Now you have some stabilization options here. I don't want to use them because it makes the program laggy, although granted the machine I'm on is very fast. Oh, I guess that's not the right one. So let's tap right here. Okay, if that doesn't load, then we double click. We go over here, Sketchbook, double click. Okay, all right, we have Sketchbook up. So undo. So here, let's turn this off. And this looks like garbage. So I didn't recommend it. Beautiful color mixing, very fast. The new Slim Pen, Slim Pen 2, same program, same settings, and you can see how clean and nice those lines are. R520 stylus, R520C. You can see quite a bit better than this right here. All right, so let's go back and let's look at the program. So Sketchbook Pro was bought recently by the people who made it. So it was made by a group of, I believe, very dedicated, very interested people who understood art. Great for design, great for illustrations, and there's a lot of really good perspective tools and rulers and symmetry and again, light. This one is now in the Microsoft Store. It is no longer free, and I'm glad that it's not free. I think that tools get made better with money, so it is now cleaner, and it will eventually have better features. For now, it needs more keyboard shortcuts. It's lacking in that department. I've reached out, and hopefully they will start putting in some more keyboard shortcuts to make this a better option for artists. Okay, so here we're going to look at some of the different tools. They have some nice similar tools to what's in Clip Studio Paint. So let's go ahead and we're going to open up some different colors. And this one does very nice color blending. Again, it's very fast. And you can mix. Line quality is very nice. As far as switching between the tools, I think this is one of the slower programs. It's not bad, but I don't see it having the same capabilities as like Clip Studio Paint. You can't, for me, it's really important to be able to toggle back and between brushes without constantly having to fully switch to them. It removes half of the steps. So they do have this little button right here, S. So we're using two brushes. So we're going to smudge and draw and smudge and draw. And so you can do a lot of different things with Sketchbook Pro. I think it's a better option than it used to be. It does a good job with color blending. It is not the highest on my list. I think that there's a lot of things that it doesn't do. So Sketchbook Pro, I think, is a good option for perspective work. Let's look at the type of work that people are doing inside of Sketchbook Pro. This is actually, I think, a really good example of the type of art that you can expect. Really good. There's a lot of people who do like different prototype renders, and again, spend some time looking at the artwork that's being created by the program that you're looking at getting into. So Autodesk Sketchbook, Tumblr, a good place to go. This is a great example right here. So one of the things I like is if you're looking at these lines, these curves are super clean, and because of the smoothing tools and the pulled string tools and different things inside of Sketchbook, it makes it easier to do this type of work, and I really like this type of this style. All right, so let's look at the next one. So Artrage, this is Artrage Vitae, and I'm not positive that I'm saying the name correctly. This is very new. It has some really cool collaboration skills. You can work on the same canvas with someone across the world, which is neat. It's neat. You can do live collaborations. So what I like is if you're a natural media artist and you're used to watercolor or oil, this one actually has Impasto depth. Okay, let's open up the artist pad. Go Artrage. Okay, so Artrage just also this new version, which you could call it Artrage 7, and it would be fine. This is in the Windows Store. So what I want you to notice is the way that the colors blend, the texture of the paint. This one stands out in a lot of ways over everything else if you're trying to do this type of work. It handles tilt. So here I have a palette knife, and I can cut into the paint. And let's go ahead and pull out. So there's some things that you can do with Artrage that are just very, very difficult to do with other programs. I like this a lot for trying to replicate actual oil and acrylic paint. So the impasto depth, the palette knives, there's different things in here. I don't like the pencil. And there's not that there's probably not some really good pencils available with them. This one is just kind of dull, a little boring. Let's open up the presets here and we'll look pencil, and let's do hard and dark. That sounds sexual. So you can see texture, but again, I'm just not a big fan of their pencils, but their oils, their color mixing, yeah. So let's see, are all of these sexual? I thought it said hard stabber. Not good sexual. All right, so here you can see just the way that the pencils work. Again, not my favorite. It's not bad. The way that colors mix and blend, extremely cathartic to me. And beautiful color mixing, impasto depth. The watercolors blend in a very soft, nice way. You can actually do metallic, which is something that you don't have in other programs. And that's pretty cool. Let's do metallic green, metallic red. So you can make a lot of different textures on this one. There's this goopy brush. Oh, not that. Tube, paint tube. So check this out. And then we're going to use the palette knife over here. Again, palette knife you can set to, okay, palette knife here. Let's adjust the size down. Oh, I have this one mapped like this. All right, that's fine. So here we can cut. And make this really thick. Okay, let's hide this. All right, so here, that's really hard to do in a lot of programs. If you're trying to do like a metallic or thick paint, you can make the thickest paint in Artrage Vitae. Really cool program. Check it out. I'm trying to get, I had a affiliate link with Artrage. I don't have one currently, but I might have one eventually. So check the link in the description for Artrage. Look up Artrage. And you can see the different types of artwork here. You can see very, very painterly. There's really, really beautiful art pieces that look like they were done with actual oil. So great program for that. Very easy to pick up. If you've never done digital art before, Artrage is my top choice. And you can look here at the different styles. You've got some canvas textures. You can make some really cool stuff. Artrage, great, great program. Pretty cool. Very cute. All right, and my favorite program is Rebelle 4. I love this program. I very, very fortunate to be able to work with a company, and I do have an affiliate with these guys as well. But you'll see this has it has some tools that I was pushing for them to add, and they finally added it in Rebelle 4.1. So this is a pencil sketch I did in Rebelle 4, and I really like the way that you can toggle back and forth between the different tools. So here, if I'm using a pencil and I want to erase, I can switch to erase. If I want to just blend, I can just blend. If I want to paint and also blend, I can blend. I can adjust the tilt of the brush. And one of the things that's not there in some of the other programs is the Fresco has this living canvas, and I mentioned it before, but if we wanted to, let's take some watercolor and let's switch to a watercolor brush that has some color in it. And let's see, let's pick a nice blue. All right, let's not draw on her face. That feels weird. Okay, so let's go over here and let's pick some more colors. All right, now I don't think any of these have any water in them. Let's make sure that we have some water. Oh, there's a little bit of water. Oh, they are moving. Okay, so you can see here, if we stop doing other things, that we can see it start moving. So we're going to add some water to the top of this to give it a little bit of a push. And now we can use a blow tool to blow the paint here. Now if we add some oils over the top, let's add some nice color here. This does some things here that the other programs just cannot do. Let's go right here and do watercolor again. And let's pick a black. You can see how the very thick paint, let's do oils again. And all of this interacts in the coolest way. It's fantastic for sketching and painting and oil and watercolor. Really great program. I would say the caveats on this one is it does not have a two-finger tap to undo, which is okay if you're using the artist pad, not a big deal. But that and it's a little bit hard to get all your settings just right. My favorite program, I would say Clip Studio Paint is a little better optimized for touch. Fresco is a little better optimized for touch, tiny little bit better, but not as powerful. If you want to do thick paint or watch oils and watercolor mix, this is really great for sketches, really great. Let's look at the type of artwork being done. And if you guys are interested in a tutorial where I'm kind of showing my process, I take a long time to draw. So it's not super fast. I wish I was faster. It's just a little bit difficult for me to paint live. I feel really uncomfortable, but I'm working on it. Okay, so let's see here. Let's look at Rebelle 4. You can see here this very painterly style. By the way, Corel Painter doesn't work on the Surface Pro almost anything. Surface Pro 7, 7 Plus, 8, Laptop Studio. It doesn't work. You can't draw. It just does little dots, which is frustrating. Okay, so here you can see just the amount of texture, and you can choose different canvases, and that's a great program. It's my favorite. It's the one that I feel is my go-to. So very, very good program. It is fast. It is not the fastest. If you have a slow computer, Paint Tool Sci, and you don't need to do Impasto, Paint Tool Sci is the best choice for you. Sketchable is a great choice. Those ones are probably the best. Leonardo, if you don't need to do color blending, is also very fast. All right, you guys, that's it. Super long video. Let me know which one was your favorite. If you would like to suggest another program, I did not put Medibang in or a couple other ones because I just don't like them yet. I'm sure that they're getting close, but put your favorite one in the comment section. And if you use a stylus with Windows, this is a fantastic channel for you, so please subscribe. All right, I'll look forward to reading what you guys write in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.